Soccer City has been in the spotlight recently, but more so over the World Cup opening ceremony. The opening ceremony, themed welcoming the world home, included artists from different parts of the continent in true African style. In studio with me to tell me more about the sweat and tears that went into this project, I have Abey Mokgwatsane, CEO of the VWV Group. Abey, welcome back to Business 2010.
Thank you, Darren.
Last time you were here, it was around the Confederations Cup, wasn't it?
It was, just at the end of Confederations Cup.
Well, now we've kicked off. This is the world stage. You were involved in the opening ceremony. You guys were responsible for it.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more about the prep time that goes into a World Cup opening ceremony.
Well, I mean, the prep time is about a year long. We really started working from the end of Confederations Cup because obviously what you have to do is first figure out what it is you're going to tell the world. And you know how everyone becomes the coach of the South African soccer team in the world? We also have a lot of coaches and a lot of creative directors for the opening and closing ceremonies, as you can imagine. So getting all that footage and getting all that understanding and all that input from different stakeholders, from government, from private sector, from just everyday people really, filtering that down into what the brief should be, and then answering that brief took us about a whole 6 months just to get to the point where we understood what it is we wanted to try and do. Once that brief was signed off, we then presented some concepts. FIFA got those signed off, LOC got those signed off, we got them signed off with our key stakeholders being the City of Joburg, as well as the Department of Arts and Culture and LOC. And once that process really kicked in, then it was straight into rehearsals. The team moved into Nasrec, which is just outside of Soccer City, in April, the beginning of April already. Rehearsal with about 1,500 strong cast begun. And then really the guys started practicing the different segments and the different pieces, integrating it into music, integrating it into what they needed to do. And really the rehearsal started peaking 3 weeks before the show. So it's really, really, really sleepless nights. And hopefully, you know, thank goodness there's happy tears too. It wasn't just bad tears, it was happy tears too.
So there's a lot of preparation that goes into something like this. But
absolutely.
With regards to the theme, who decides on that? I mean, did you have input from FIFA, from government, from yourselves essentially, and why this specific theme?
You know, the reality is that this is the cradle of mankind, of humankind. You know, this is really where man and woman took their first footsteps. So it was, while there was a lot of ideas around what the theme should be, and everyone had input, you know, FIFA had a view, the government had a view, LOC had a view, even we had a view. Everyone really came down to the lowest common denominator, which was there is a piece of Africa in every single one of the people that are living on this planet right now. And it was really the role, our role as the African continent, as a South Africa, to welcome the world back to their homeland, to the place where they are from, and celebrate that with this great tournament that we had.
And what has been some of the feedback from people on the streets or at a government level?
We've been astounded at the feedback and quite humbled by it. You know, everyone is saying really awesome ceremony. Africa's put its foot in the, you know, in the right direction. I think there was an article in the Saturday Star that said that respect. That was a headline. That's what South Africa got during the opening game and the opening ceremony. You know, we really showed the world that we can present Africa in a progressive and world-class manner without losing the essence of who we are. So we got a lot of respect, and there's been really, really good feedback.
Well, personally, I enjoyed the big dung beetle with the massive Jabulani ball. I thought that was a nice time.
It's amazing you say that, because that is the one piece of the concept that we had to fight really, really hard to keep.
Who did you have to fight with? FIFA?
A number of different stakeholders all over. I mean, it wasn't just a FIFA view or a government view. There were people within the LOC, within government, within FIFA that said it's inappropriate, it's not the right thing to do, and they really wanted us to revert to the typical.
Do they understand the concept of the dung beetle being African? I mean,
we had to explain it to them. We had to say, actually, this is one of the most ecological animals in the world, and it's unique to Africa. You can find the dung beetle from Cape to Cairo, and it's doing exactly the same thing. It goes over hurdles, it's relentless, it doesn't give up, it carries so much more than its weight. It's just such a beautiful story. So we really had to fight hard to get it, and thank goodness, you know, a lot of the media pickup and the commentary about the ceremony, ironically, has been about the dung beetle.
So it was a good choice to go with that.
You know, we vindicated.
Dealing with FIFA, I mean, we've over the years that we've done the show, we've spoken to various people involved in the World Cup, and they've had their different views on FIFA as a body. What was their involvement in the opening ceremony? Did they have a lot? Did you have a good relationship with FIFA?
Yeah, I think FIFA's involvement you can separate into two parts. They are primarily concerned with making sure that when you finish your game, when you finish your show, that they can continue with the game. I mean, all we really are is a curtain raiser to the soccer. That's what they're there for. So they want to make sure that the grass is fine. They want to make sure that the logistics have been absolutely perfect and all the contracts are in place and no one's going to get into trouble for any rights and so on. The second piece has been input around representing the tournament in a way that they can make sure that it's sustainable going forward into the future. We've had a great relationship with FIFA. I mean, we learned a lot from Confed. Their input has been really good. Sometimes we've had to say, this is why we want to do this thing and justify some of the things that we've done. And some points the input has been in such that we've had to change some of the things that we wanted to do, but for the right reasons. So I think the partnership has worked.
Now, obviously, logistics and cost is a major factor in putting a ceremony like this together. I mean, you had the likes of R. Kelly there. Tell us a little bit more about the logistics involved in the ceremony.
Well, just managing 1,500 people. I mean, the youngest cast member is 6 years old, and the oldest is 60-something. She wouldn't tell us exactly which part of 60 she was in, but she was about 60-something. And just managing that group of people, making sure that they're fed, making sure that you've signed the agreements with every single one, making sure that with children, you've protected their rights, their parents are in full understanding of what's going on, and everyone knows what they're meant to be doing, and just plotting that whole thing is just the most incredible logistical exercise we've ever done in our lives. I mean, we thought Confed was intense, but this was triple the amount of work that we've had to do. But it's been a lot of learning for us. So, you know, making sure that we appointed the cast. I mean, we had to start doing auditions as far back as November, December last year, making sure that we get the right artists, having debates within the country around which artists we should feature, and then making sure that everyone arrives on time, and at the end of the day, that they are doing exactly what it is they're meant to be doing on the field is out of this world.
Just lastly, we're running out of time, but the closing ceremony, can you give us a sneak peek at what can we expect, what can the world expect from that ceremony?
Sure. I think the opening ceremony was about welcoming the world. The closing ceremony is going to be thank you for giving us the honor to host you at home, and we hope to see you again soon. The opening ceremony took place,
to Brazil.
It's a handover to Brazil. The opening ceremony took place in the daytime. The closing ceremony is at night, so we can use some more technology, and I think that's going to be a nice surprise for the watching world.